This question is about Henrik that has a farm. The diagram below shows one of Henrik's fields. It is in the shape of a triangle ABC, and we can see that. And we have then some measurements. 59, we have 47, and we have 28, the angle as shown. So first thing, we have to find the area, correct, to the nearest meter. Now, how do we calculate area of triangle? We go to the table, we look for the formula. Area of any kind, doesn't matter, triangle or any other shape. It's in the beginning of our table. There it is, page 9. We have the area of triangle. Now, the difficulty here is that we have three formulas. So which formula do we choose? Well, the one we have information for, isn't it? So our first our first formula have A. What is A? A is the side of the triangle, and then it have H, and H is the height. So here, yes, I do have a side, I don't have a height. I do have a side, I don't have a height. Could I find that height? Probably yes, but let's consider the next formula. So the next formula has A, which is a side, has B, which is another side, and then it has capital C, and C is the angle in between those two sides. And that's what we have here. We have one side, we have the second side, and then we have angle in between. So we're going to go for that one because we already have all the information. So the area here will equal a half multiplied by A. Now, does it matter which is A, which is B? No, it doesn't matter because we are multiplying them. Then B, let's say 59, and multiply that by the sine of angle 28. And we put that in the calculator, we press equal, and to the nearest square meter, we get 651. Okay, so that was easy enough. Let's have a look at next part of this question. So in part 2, we have to work out the length of the side BC correct to 2 decimal places. So let's just get our triangle here. How do we do it? Now, when it comes to triangle, your answer is always on page 16 in your maths table. Now that, let's just get that page 16. Oops, we jumped that ahead. So page 16. First of all, is divided into two parts. The bottom part is about a right angle triangle, and the top part not a right angle triangle. So when we are dealing with a triangle, that's the first question we ask. Is the triangle that we are dealing with, is it a right angle or not a right angle? Now, here we have no indication that it is a right angle, so we are going for not a right angle triangle. When it comes to not a right angle triangle, so here, let's just get that. We have two formulas that we are considering. I know that there is that third formula for the area, but really what we are considering is the two formulas here, the sine rule and the cosine rule. So the sine rule and the cosine rule. Now, when it comes to the triangle, two things that we describe about triangle or measurements we do are the sides and then the angles inside. So when I'm looking at those two formulas, that's the way we're going to look at it. When it comes to the cosine rule, the A, the B, the C, and then B and C, as you can see it in your drawing, they are all sides of the triangle. So cosine rule involves three sides, and then you have capital A, and as you can see it, capital A represents the angle. When it comes to the sine rule, I know we have three fractions, but when we use that formula, we use two fractions. We build two-sided equation. It doesn't matter which two I'm going to pick. All of them are going to have the same elements. So two small letters, which are the side. So two sides and two capital letters, and capital letters represent angle. So how do we decide which formula to use? First, we start with what we need to find. We need to find the length of BC. So we are saying, I am looking for, therefore, question mark, a side, not an angle. What information do I have? I have 59. That is a side. Tick, tick. I have 28. That is an angle. So tick, tick again. And then I have 47. That's again a side, so tick again. Here we can see we don't have enough information to use the sine rule, but we have all the information for the cosine rule. Okay, that's all good. Now I need to know what is A, B, and C in my own triangle. So where do we start? Always with an angle. So since the cosine rule only involves one angle A, so that will be our angle. That's where we have it, therefore that's our capital A. And as you can see it in your table, the side that is opposite angle A will be small a. The side that is opposite our angle A is the one we are looking for, that's my BC. Then B and C, those two. Now, does it matter which is B, which is C? Not in cosine rule, because here we are adding them and here we are multiplying. So let's say that's B and let's say that's C. Okay, now we can replace those letters with numbers. So capital A, that's my BC I'm looking for, that is taken to the power of 2 equal. Now B we said is going to be 47, so that is to the power of 2 plus C is 59, again that is taken to the power of 2, minus 2, multiply again B, that's 47, multiply by C, that is 59, and multiply by cos, and our angle is 28. Now, we want BC, not BC taken to the power of 2. So in order to eliminate that power of 2, what do? We take a square root of the other side of the equation. And now that on this side of the equation are all numbers, all we have to do is to put that in the calculator, press equal, and have our answer. And correct to 2 decimal place, we will get that the length of BC is 28.16 meters.